Men Are from Mars and Women Are from Venus is the name of a book published by John Gray that has been translated into numerous languages and has been translated into millions of copies. The book asserts, in essence, that men and women live on different planets. Men have a tendency to be more logical thinkers, whilst women have a tendency to be more idealistic in their outlook on life. The majority of students enrolled in programs that are focused on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics are male. The majority of students enrolling in nursing and social work programs are female. This is likely due to the fact that women in general crave social interaction more than males do. In spite of what postmodernists have to say, there is nothing in the slightest bit inappropriate about a man indulging in such activity. This is especially true if the man in question is a man. Listening to this would be beneficial for modern men, particularly those who are forging their own paths and refusing to submit to their new type of tyranny. As a result of listening to this, modern men will gain a great deal of knowledge and experience and improvement in how they feel about themselves. You are most likely familiar with the anti-masculinity campaign that the vast majority of politicians, members of the media, and those working in the entertainment business have attempted to promote. It is possible that you are already aware of this objective if you do not reside in a cave or a bubble. In spite of this, the vast majority of women, unless they adhere to the ideology of gynocentrism or have an attraction to other women, end up falling in love with manly men who are strong leaders and not followers, and they despise weak men. This is because the vast majority of women despise weak men and believe that they are less attractive than manly men. The current era is characterized by widespread insanity, and as a direct consequence of this, beliefs and propaganda have taken precedence over logic and facts. Despite the fact that we are supposed to be living in the golden era of science and innovation, the current era is marked by widespread insanity. On top of that, women are pardoned by society for being jealous, rude, and demanding, while men are urged to take a check regardless of how pleasant it is. This is in stark contrast to the treatment of men in other societies. I mean that women who have everything handed to them, with quotas and a court system that works in their favor, and who still claim that they are oppressed, should have their claims disregarded as soon as possible. Quotas and a court system that works in their favor are examples of things that work in their favor. If you ever go on a date with her and see that she has this attitude or this obvious warning sign, please excuse yourself and get her out of your life as soon as possible. I beg you. In the long run, she will be more bother for you to deal with than she will be worth. In point of fact, this is one of the primary reasons why men are exiting the dating scene in large numbers. They do this because they already have too much to deal with at work to deal with minor disputes at home, and they have a partner who does not support them in their efforts to improve their situation. Solutions. The reason they do this is because they already have too much to deal with at work to deal with minor disputes at home. Guys are making their own decisions about their lives, and as a result, they are experiencing a higher sense of contentment. This is because they are no longer susceptible to the risks of being sued or having to cope with the variety of other concerns that unstable women bring to the table. Get out of there as quickly as you can and start living the best life you can. You have nothing to lose. An article that appeared in the Washington Post and was headlined, "Why Can't We Hate Men?" Why is it so hard for us to hate other people when a woman by the name of Susanna, who is the director of the Department of Gender Studies at Northeastern University, explains why it is acceptable to despise men in general and why this hatred is acceptable? Susanna is explaining why it is acceptable to despise men in general and why this hatred is acceptable. When she makes these assertions, she is not explicitly referring to molesters, cowards, or violent husbands. Rather, she is talking about males in general. She is not referring to individual men when she makes these statements. The fact that powerful men in Hollywood, notably predators, have been responsible for the abuse of vulnerable women for a significantly longer period of time than anybody else is the root cause of her hatred of males. Let me begin by stating that each of these men is revolting, and they should all be locked up. They are all responsible for the misdeeds that they have committed. On the other hand, the objective of this is not to bring to your attention the unfavorable features of the entertainment sector. Let's take a moment to reflect, then examine what Susanna had to say on the issue at hand. Women are underrepresented in higher paying positions in government, business, education, etc. And an income imbalance is still a problem in almost every economy. This is true in the vast majority of places across the globe. Taking care of one's home and providing food for one's own consumption, as well as that of one's family. It is much more difficult for women to obtain an education, particularly at more advanced levels. Women own a smaller percentage of property than males do for the most part. The things that she says about her alma mater are evidence that she has completely lost any form of sanity and is currently dwelling in a world that does not currently exist. In today's world, the proportion of females to boys participating in higher education programs has shifted to the point that it is now more commonplace than the reverse. This recurring pattern is something that should be expected to continue. If women choose academic majors or lines of work that don't involve as much danger or aren't quite as lucrative, then that's a completely different problem from the fact that men do the same thing. She is actually propagating falsehoods and throwing the blame on all males, including those men who don't cause any harm to anyone else. Focus on increasing their talents and just try to advance in their profession. This is what happens when power and responsibility are given to every individual in the same amount, regardless of whether or not they are qualified for such roles. Because I don't give a call about a person's genetic makeup or where they originated from as long as they can get the job done. This indicates that both civilization and race are doomed to fail in the future. I immediately hired them as a result of the positive impact that they will have on the outcome of my project. In spite of the fact that many contemporary women like Susanna have earned advanced degrees, they do not appear to comprehend something that is not only uncomplicated but also patently obvious. They are the same females who, while drinking their lattes from Starbucks and condemning capitalism, make fun of men who have unusual jobs or work in agriculture while they themselves eat lattes from Starbucks. These men also drink lattes. Ignore these women and do whatever you can to remove them from your life as much as possible. Turn off the news, and if you ever come across propaganda such as this one, don't argue with it, since it won't make sense. Also, if you ever come across propaganda such as this one, turn off the news. On top of that, I'd appreciate it if you could turn off the radio. They will, despite this, continue to defend their viewpoints and invent stories that have no bearing on the real world. They won't do that. Rather, they will do this instead. He does not dislike women, but he does ignore them, particularly those women who believe in this nonsense and want to compel men to do things and call them names as a man. MGTOW does not despise women, but he does ignore those women who believe in this nonsense and want to compel men to do things. In particular, MGTOW ignores the women who believe in this nonsensical ideology and who wish to force males to behave in a certain way. Even if he does not dislike women very much, MGTOW does not pay them a great deal of attention. I have a strong recommendation for you to embrace MGTOW, even monk mode, and establish a life for yourself while you still have the opportunity to do so. This is because other modern women are unhappy and other men want to give up their authority. Now that it's your turn, I wish you the best of luck in anything you set your mind to do. What kind of ideas do you have? Have you ever talked to a woman who was either asexual or who had no interest in pursuing a romantic relationship with a man? Why would you say that if it's the case? If you have any thoughts or stories to share, please leave them in the comments section. Thank you for watching, and if you found this helpful, please like and subscribe to our channel. By clicking the notification bell, you won't miss any future videos. See you in the next video.